Zuffa boxing may be back. Dana White has declared that he is now set to enter boxing with big news coming. Shout out to Sportskeeda MMA for this little post here in the graphic. Dana White announcing the other night that he will be getting into the boxing business. This is coming off the back of the Callum Walsh fight happening today, Friday, in the middle of the afternoon for the Americans, but in Ireland it'll be this evening. Zuffa boxing, for some of those who may not know, we start off, the beginnings of the UFC started with the WOW promotions promoting the UFC. I have this little page right here for you to see visually. And then SEG, many of you probably have heard of them. They are the sports corporation. In 1995, they acquired the UFC. And so in 1997, there was this ongoing struggle. Obviously, it was referred to as human cockfighting. It was too violent. There was that whole battle. And so cable systems refused to carry UFC pay-per-views from that point forward. In 2001, to combat this and to move the promotion and MMA in general forward beyond just the UFC into the mainstream, this and that, it's not just this small little niche product. Zuffa LLC was created by Lorenzo Fertitta, Frank Fertitta, the Fertitta brothers, in cooperation with Dana White. Many of you know who these guys are. The Fertitta brothers, they owned some of the casinos down there in Las Vegas. They purchased the UFC for like $1 or $2 million, like pennies on the dollar, trying to revitalize the brand. They try to, they started this Zuffa thing. There was this thing called Zuffa, right? This brand. There was the whole TV deal, whole TV branding behind it, behind the UFC. So they used that to kind of fight. It was a legitimate way to fight all the rules and the regulations and the sport's legitimacy and proving that it was a safe sport and all that. It was the introduction. Really, this is where those new weight classes started to kick off. There were belts for championships, unified rules, all that stuff was really started to come to fruition because of Zuffa and what they were doing. And under Zuffa was where The Ultimate Fighter took off and built the brand. They used Spike TV to promote The Ultimate Fighter, which blew up the UFC internationally. They started hosting events worldwide. This was where some of the celebrities started coming to the pay-per-views. Remember, like The Rock back in the day, all these WWE guys that would come over. Vince McMahon was heavily involved in terms of friendships there. And then in 2016, ultimately, Zuffa was sold off to the WME group, the IMGs. That's where the Ari Emanuel guy, where he comes into play. It's sold for like $4 billion. Dana White, however, is still in charge of the brand of Zuffa. It just isn't really relevant, isn't really around in the same vein anymore. So, what does this mean? Dana White this weekend will be stepping in heavily to the boxing promotion realm. He's really banking on this Callum Walsh kid, this young Irish guy. They're putting this whole entire fight card on UFC Fight Pass. That's going to be fun to watch. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Zuffa boxing is coming back? Do you think Dana's going to revitalize the Zuffa brand, have a boxing promotion for himself, for the UFC to run side by side with? What does this mean for the rest of MMA? What does this mean to the UFC? What does this mean for the TKO brand, for WWE? What does this mean for the future of combat sports? Will there be a Zuffa Muay Thai brand like we've been talking about in the past couple of videos in regards to what one is doing with the 4-ounce Muay Thai gloves? Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see this? Give me some of your predictions, feedback on what this may mean for Dana White and the company of TKO.